Hi, welcome back to misformeeple. My name's Mitch.
And I'm Morgan, and today we're going to be doing a Kickstarter preview of Fortify by Barrel Aged Games.
So Barrel Aged Games sent us a copy of Fortify for this video, so special thank you to them for sending us this. We had quite a good time playing it. This is their new game coming to Kickstarter September 20th, so be sure to check them out. It'll be linked down below if you like what you see here. But this is a two-player real-time tile laying game in which players will be building forts with cards symbolizing their cardboard boxes, which will grow their fort, or you'll build your fort out, where kids can come in and increase your dice, which you'll be chucking, and your dice represent the water balloons that you're chucking over the fence to the other player. That's just the quickest form of the game, but where it gets really intense is that this game is real time, so you're trying to build your fort faster than the player who's on the other side of the fence, and then you're trying to throw your water balloons faster than the player who's on the other side of the fence.
So this copy is a prototype copy, so everything you're about to see is subject to change. So the game board is divided in half by a fence, which separates the two backyards. One player is on one backyard and the other player is on the other one. You are not allowed to build a fort past the fence. You have to stay on your side of the backyard. But essentially this game has two phases, the build phase and the water balloon fight. So at the start of the build phase, each player takes 4 cards into their hand, face down, and then they simultaneously, because it's a real-time game, flip over the top card and begin building their fort by playing the fort tile and connecting it to any open box in their fort area. Once they have an enclosed space in their fort, they can attract kids to their fort.
You're either trying to make an enclosed space of 1 square or 2 squares long to attract either box kids, which will bring in more cards for you to build, or balloon kids, which will give you more dice to throw in the balloon fight phase.
So the first player to build their fort the quickest gets to claim the cousin token. The cousin token is a cousin who wants to participate in the water balloon fight, but he doesn't want to get wet. Which is why he has the umbrella, but he does allow you an extra die to roll during the water balloon fight.
During the water balloon phase, your leader counts as a water balloon thrower, and that's 1 dice you get to roll. You get to roll an extra dice if you have the cousin token, and you get an extra dice for every kid you were able to attract during the build your fort phase. On the die, there are various colored water balloons, which correspond to what you're able to hit. Red balloons can hit red box cards, blue can hit blue, yellow can hit yellow, and then there's a wild symbol, which can hit your team, hit the team leader on the other side of the fence, or they can hit any color. There's also the umbrella symbol, which blocks water balloons from damaging forts, hitting leaders, or hitting other kids inside your fort.
The first person to run out of die gets to take the jerk token in the center of the board, and they get to roll an additional die once the other player has finished rolling everything. Say that you rolled a wild and you were able to hit the leader on the other team, but they had an umbrella die, so they blocked it, and they used all of their remaining die, and then you have your jerk token, so you get to go throw 1 last water balloon. If it's another wild, you can again hit that leader in order to score a splash token on the opposing team's base. The first person to get 3 splash tokens on a base wins the game.
So what did you like about Fortify, now that we've explained a little bit of how it plays?
I really like the theme of it. I think it's really clever how it's just a 2-player game. You're just tossing water balloons over the fence. It looks really cool out on the table. Everyone's sprawling forts, they're boxed forts all over the place, and enclosing your kids. Like, it really does feel like you have like an army of kids in your base that's just like throwing water balloons. I also thought it was cool that if one of your box kids or one of your water balloon throws gets hit, you flip the tile over and it's just like them soaking wet.
Yeah.
And they're out of the game, essentially. Like, you can't use that tile again because they got wet, they got hit, they're out. So I thought that was pretty clever. I also liked how it was fairly balanced. Like when we played, I had a lot of box kids, so I was getting a lot of cards into my hand. I think
But that was making your build phase go a little bit slower.
it was,
Because you were going through the options as I was just like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, it gets real tricky to figure out. You know, you always want to plan out your fort like the optimal way so that you can leave spaces, but sometimes the order of your cards don't line up, and it can take longer if you have a lot of box kids and your hand is larger.
Right.
To where Mitch was constantly getting the cousin die before me, but in a way that makes up for it because I had more boxed tiles to play down, so my fort was bigger, and so he got an extra die during the water balloon fight. However, because I didn't really have many water balloon kids, I feel like I constantly got the jerk tile, or the jerk token.
Yeah, because you were throwing like 1 or 2 water balloons, so 1 or 2 dice, while I was constantly doing like 3 or 4.
Right, so I was always running out of my die the quickest, so I got the jerk token. So I feel like it was fairly balanced.
One thing like you weren't doing was re-rolling your dice. Because when you roll when you roll your supply of water balloon, as long as you assign one of those dice, you can then re-roll whatever you have left. So it's like I would roll my 4, assign 1, roll my 3, assign 1, roll 2, assign 1, and it's like I was able to get shields out, or not shields, umbrellas, block tokens, and I was able to, even if you didn't assign one to like my leader, I would still put an umbrella token on my leader to ensure that
nobody could hit your base.
My base wasn't getting hit.
Yeah, I think I just caught up in like the chaos of like the real time where I was just like, oh no, we have to like roll a die and like assign stuff, and you're trying to like match your die to colors, and I forgot to re-roll a few times, or forgot that I could re-roll a few times, and I was just like, oh, I guess I'll hit this. Not realizing that I could have re-rolled and tried to go for like an umbrella or a wild to hit your base.
I liked how the main board itself started off relatively small, and then the first round, you only add 4 box tiles or cards to it, and it's it quickly ramps up to, we were taking up like a huge section of the table because we just kept building off of certain sections. And then you had a couple good water balloon hits to where I didn't realize I had made a connection of red, to where if you hit one piece on the box cards, then they're all connected to the same color. Your opponent loses all of that's attached to their base, and I wasn't paying attention. And you did that a couple times to where I just lost 3 or 4 like pieces to my base.
And you didn't have those connected like another way, so he just, the whole segment just essentially like fell off his base.
Because that segment fell off, and I had a segment coming off of it that was a different color, but since it was no longer attached, if they're no longer attached, I believe they go back into your hand for the next build phase to rebuild, because those boxes are still good. They're not soaked.
Right.
So you can,
you just have to reattach them to the fort.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think it was a very thematic game. Like, everything made sense. Like I said, it really did feel like you were having like a very nostalgic of like when we were little and you're building forts and having a water balloon fight. It was really fun.
Yeah, it's a fast-paced strategy game in the first part, and then it's a fast-paced. Like how would you even describe that?
Dice battler. I don't know.
It's a unique dice battler because it's like, if you you can choose to take longer during the balloon throwing phase to see whether or not you want to even assign dice to try and block, or you can just wait and be like, all right, they're hitting these, I can keep rolling and try to get those wilds.
But if you're not the last person, you don't get the jerk, and that can kind of make or break it. Like I said, a few times you blocked your fort when I had a wild on it, and then I got to roll that jerk token, and you roll that at the very end, so they don't even get a chance to re-roll anything. You just, whatever you roll, you get to assign that. So I think a few times I did roll a wild, and then I got to hit your base
That's
again.
how you got both your hits on my base, was with that jerk token at the end. So the jerk token does have some good benefits to it, and it's like that does give you incentive to like hurry up and get your dice out there. I really enjoyed this game. I think if we had played this a couple weeks earlier, this might have ended up on our top 10 summers list.
I agree. Yeah, it's a very good summer game. I would really like to play it with like your nephew. I think he would really like it, because it does seem like it's geared more towards like younger audiences. But I mean, we still had a blast with it. It like I said, there is a little bit of that like nostalgic feeling of like, you know, when we were growing up, there wasn't like as much technology. We were always outside playing, having water balloon fights or building forts. I feel like that doesn't happen as often nowadays. So for that alone, I think.
Yeah, this game pulled me back to like my childhood of throwing water balloons in the backyard with my best friends and just having like the best time during summer. And like the fact that it just gave me a few moments of that feeling of like being a child again. Like even if it is geared towards a younger audience, like it pulled me back to a younger age just for a moment.
Yeah, no,
So-
I still think it's like a really fun game to play as an adult because it is so quick, and there is a lot of strategy of like, oh, where do I put this tile in order to build my fort?
I was going for speed.
And it plays super quick, like 15 minutes. So it was really fun. It's a game that you can just kind of be like, all right, let's play one more time. I'm going to see if I can build my fort a little bit better. Because I did find myself struggling a few times. I would always
you built yourself in a corner.
Yeah, I always wanted to put like my fort tiles like right next to each other and make it like the boxes connect. And I kept forgetting that you needed to actually leave gaps.
Where are the kids gonna go?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't really thinking about it, but like I kept trying to make like the path of the boxes as opposed to just like leaving a gap for where the kid could go. So I did box myself in a corner a few times, and then that's how you ended up with more water balloons than me, or water balloon throwers than me.
Because my superior engineering of cardboard boxes.
Yeah. So I do want to play it a few more times to just see if I can get my box building fort strategy down.
Not compared to me.
You do really feel the pressure though, because
Oh my
it's
god,
like,
yes.
you can't take too long building your fort because then they're going to take the cousin token.
Oh yeah, I got it every time.
Because it's real time, so it's like you can't. It doesn't really allow for you to have analysis paralysis. But like I wanted to like make my fort perfect, so there's like a little internal struggle there for me.
Yeah, it gives good incentive to rush.
Right.
So, which I feel like a lot of real-time games sometimes struggle to do, but this one kind of hit the nail on the head of like, oh, I really got to get that before you, otherwise, you know, you're going to be blocking my balloons.
Right, or you're just going to like, hit everything that I've built this round, and then I'm going to have to start all over with like a new section. So, yeah, I think I just need to get better at planning out my cards.
I just need to stay better than you.
So if you're interested in Fortify, it launches on Kickstarter on September 20th. So definitely check it out. We will link their Kickstarter page down below. And again, huge thank you to Barrel Age Games for sending us this preview copy. We had a blast with it. We can't wait to try it out with some of our nephews and nieces and see if they like it as well.
Yeah, I'm going to crush them. I'm looking forward to it. Like, no mercy when it comes to a real-time game. Plan to make my nephew cry. So, if you liked what you saw, either us or Fortify, or both, be sure to click that bell to get notified when we release new videos, which we release every Sunday. Click the subscribe button because it really helps the channel out a lot. And be sure to click the thumbs up because it helps us out, it helps the video out, it helps more people to see it. But my name is Mitch.
And I'm Morgan. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, bye.